Hello, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda, Joseph Stephen Skoda III. Now, if you can look at my shirt that says Alaskan Amber. Now, I've been to Alaska a couple times, and I don't know about the amber, but obviously beer's made there. And I've been to a lot of places in the United States and even around the world that make different kinds of alcohol. Now, what kind of tourist or even citizen would I be if I did not experiment or at least try the alcohol, whatever they had to give us tourists at the time? Now, what basically I want to say is I want to talk a little bit about get over it and what's really important. Now, deep down inside, most of us have obviously had a drink or two in our time. Some of us smoke marijuana and did other things. I'm not going to talk about what I did or didn't do. Quite frankly, I haven't even thought about smoking marijuana since I was a teenager. And that was a long, long time ago. But why do we prejudge others? Why do we look at someone, maybe millennial, kind of out there, not knowing where they're going or what they're thinking, and we try to compare them to someone in their 50s, 60s, or 70s having a couple drinks at the bar? Now, the bottom line is some of us are trying to forget things. Some of us are trying to experience new things. But the point is, a lot of us have our own vices. Your vice might be maybe a marijuana, it might be even a cigar, it might be a beer, could even be a Bloody Mary. The point is, a lot of us have different vices. Some is sexual, some is your vice might be art or writing or poetry. And I commend you for that, or even music. But we all try to find a way to step back, refocus, maybe forget our troubles at the time. We all do. Because you and I both have had issues, some in the past, some present, some that we're afraid of in the future. Death, relationships, anger, bitterness. We all experience those issues. And if you have children, you're experiencing them all at the same time. Anger, bitterness, frustration. Most of us parents go through that. And then we get sad, we get the empty nest syndrome when our children actually leave the house. Or at least they think they're leaving, or we think they're leaving. But more often than not, they end up back at home. So, what are we doing to entice them or encourage our offspring to move out? Obviously, we indulge too much in whatever our vices are, drinking or illicit drugs or whatever it may be. When we run into that attitude or that lifestyle, we often encourage our offspring and our children to come back and kind of do the same thing, where we run into a situation where we're enabling one another. Sure, I might drink and my kids might do marijuana, or some other kids might do other, maybe sexual behavior. But the point is, we all have vices. We all want to get away into a different world from time to time. And how are we portraying that, or how do we make that safe? Obviously, if you're drinking, or I think even smoking marijuana, you have to be at least 21 years or older. And obviously, marijuana is a federal offense and not legal in every state, unless you have a medical reason to, something like that. And we all, trust me, we all suffer from depression, anxiety from time to time. We all do. We don't all need to drink or smoke dope to make ourselves feel better. Sometimes just counseling, sometimes just speaking to a friend, a BFF, as they call, to help us through those difficult times of our life. So regardless if you've experimented outside that general friendship with a friend of yours, keep it to a minimum. Keep your drinking to a minimum. Keep your smoking to a minimum. Keep your whatever to a minimum. Because quite frankly, you drink too much, you smoke too much, you have too much sexual relationships, it will catch up with you. We see it all the time in Congress and people going for the Supreme Court and other leadership positions in our nation. If you've had too much or even not enough sex, if you had too much or even not enough to drink, if you had too much or not even enough to smoke, it can and most likely affect you and those around you. You could have been a rottenest kid, been a womanizer, been a drinking alcoholic, and married into a Christian family or a Christian wife and bring up your kids in Christian values and your whole mindset changed over the years. But in today's society, we go back 5, 10, 20, 30, even 40 years to find out your flaws. Sadly, there are a lot of good people being snubbed at and turned away from leadership positions in our government for something they did a long time ago. It's sad. If we look at the way the rules are today, many of us, probably most of us, will be ineligible to apply for those upper leadership positions. Now, quite frankly, if you haven't been down the dumps, or you haven't been drinking your sorrows away, or if you haven't been whatever, you truly haven't experienced what most of us go through. So how can you relate if you haven't been down the dumps with a couple drinks or passed out or barfed at a party? How can you relate to the common person? Damn it, America. Leave those people alone. Leave you and I alone from the past. God forgives us our trespasses, and God willing, our spouses, our significant others will, provided we have actually changed from what we were thinking, what we were once upon a time. We cannot keep going in the past and say, whoa, back when you're 21 years ago, you talked to this girl that way, or you thought about having a threesome this way, or boy, if everyone smoked dope, we can do whatever. Please don't hold that against you and I. We all have a past. We all have desires and anxieties and even peer pressure. Now, quite frankly, if something happened to you, a gang rape, a threat, a violent act, and you didn't act upon it right away, please don't bring it up 20, 30, 40 years later, especially as someone who's changed their life around and trying to make it better and kind of repented in a way, because if we're going to attract a significant other, we kind of have to repent or come forward on things we've done in the past. Please stop blaming everyone for things that happened to us. I'm not blaming. Sexual harassment is bad. Rape is obviously a lot worse. And sometimes there's a fine line. Now, please don't wait 5, 10, 20 years or more to report it. Do it right away, or just pray that never happens again, and pray for the one that did the bad things against you, and we can all get over it. We're not perfect. We are all sinners, whatever that may be. Sexual transguilty, stealing, lying, cheating, all of those things. Just study the 10 Commandments. Put God first, because each and every one of us has failed him and caused him the blues in one way or another. Don't blame each other. Pray for each other. Pray for our leadership. and do our best to support each other. But quite frankly, if you did someone wrong, whatever it is, apologize sincerely and say, I was wrong, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. We need to ask for that forgiveness. But we need to ask for forgiveness for ourselves first before we ask others to forgive us. Because each and every one of us has done something wrong and we've hurt others in our life. If we can't forgive ourselves as God forgives us, how can we ask others that we've done wrong to forgive us? You know, God and Jesus Christ will forgive us regardless of what our sin is. But we need to be sincere in asking for that forgiveness. So please apologize and apologize from the heart. Because deep down inside, everything we do can and will affect us. But please give empathy for each and every individual and give it your best action. Because none of us are perfect. And we're all trying to get along in this world today. Yes, if you've done wrong, you better apologize and do your best to make amends to those you hurt. The media has no damn business getting in our lives. If I did you wrong, it's between you and I. If you did me wrong, between you and I, or whatever. But when we're rising to a different office politically or elsewhere, we're kind of in the spotlight. If we screwed up, we better made those amends a long time ago, or doing our best, or at least doing our best now to make it better. Don't hurt my family or someone else's family that you love and care about and are a good spouse to or family member for something happened in the past. Those are separate issues. We need to continue to pray for one another because we all have issues. Pray, beg, plead, give empathy to each other, and please let the world go around. If you and I did something wrong, we need to just man up to it and make it the best we can. But please don't be pointing the finger at others throughout their life when you and I have our own issues. Life is too short. If somebody's qualified for the job, let's support and definitely pray for them. This is Joseph Skoda, and I apologize to you if I've offended you any time in the past. And please forgive me. I didn't mean to do you wrong. I'm trying to do better things with my life, and I wish and pray for you also. Thank you so much.